Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is Justin with Sillage Scents. Today I've got another video of cologne fragrances, and these are really good. I mean, I'm looking at these. Most of them are super cheap. All of them are beautiful fragrances, and the vast majority of them get super, super close to what they are cloning. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first one I'll mention, this is a new pickup, and I have not smelled the fragrance that it's cloning, but I can tell you it smells amazing, and it is dirt cheap. This is REHAB's Choco Musk, and this is supposed to be a clone of Chocolate Greedy by Mancera. I haven't smelled Chocolate Greedy, but I'll tell you what, you spray this thing on you and you smell like a chocolate cake. It smells amazing. Everybody in my family was wearing this the other night, or almost everybody. And this is a $10 fragrance on Amazon. I saw that they had the fragrance oil, which had really good reviews and was cheap. And then I saw they also had a spray, and I thought, man, let's go ahead and try this out for $10. How can you go wrong? And I can tell you, this thing smells amazing. It's like one of the most gourmand things I've ever smelled. Super sweet, super chocolatey, and super cheap. It's a really great pickup. Choco Musk. I don't know much about performance yet because I only sprayed it on a couple times at night, but you can risk it for $10. I think some websites have it actually less than $10. All right, next up, we're going to go with one that I think is an amazing, amazing clone of one of my favorite Tom Ford fragrances, Noir Extreme. This is Just Jack Noir Endurance. This is a spicy, gourmand, beautiful fragrance. It is made around the Middle Eastern dessert kulfi, which is a sweet and spicy dessert. But what you're going to get from this one is sweetness, spiciness. It's a little bit powdery. It's a little bit floral. It's got a vanillic kind of sweetness with this awesome spiciness, cardamom and maybe some cinnamon. It's got a fuzzy texture that I think is so interesting, and it will remind you so much of Noir Extreme. The last time I wore Noir Extreme, I came home. I don't own it, but I've worn it a number of times. Last time I sprayed it on, I came home and compared it side by side, and this one is just so close, and it's a $20 to $25 fragrance when you can find it in stock on the discounters. It is epic. A lot of the Just Jack fragrances are actually very good when you can find them in stock. All right, next up, I'm going to hit you with two Spice Bomb clones. The first one's a clone of Spice Bomb Extreme, and it's a $20 fragrance or less. This is CREMO Spice and Black Vanilla. And this one is probably only about 85% like Spice Bomb Extreme. It's definitely more synthetic. When I spray them on side by side, the differences really stick out. But I can tell you, when they're not side by side, whenever I sprayed it on the first time and I didn't have Spice Bomb Extreme right next to me, I thought, man, this thing is so close to Spice Bomb Extreme. Many people online have talked about this one, and even though it's probably in the 80s as far as accuracy is concerned, for $20, you can get this and stretch out your Spice Bomb Extreme, which is 120 for the 100 ml, or you can just get it and try it and see if you like this DNA, and then you can buy the real thing and get something that's a much higher quality, much more refined version of that fragrance profile. All right, next up, we're going to go with one that's a clone of a Creed fragrance, and it's a nuclear performer. I don't know how about you or other people, but I know many have commented when I've talked about this one and said, yes, it is nuclear. This is a clone of Silver Mountain Water. This is ARMAF's Club de Nuit Sillage, and this thing is a beauty. It is a floral fragrance that's got a note that will remind you of ink, like just picture black ink, as well as tea, kind of like a white tea, even though I think they call it green tea. I'm kind of a tea aficionado. It's more of a white tea. You're going to get the inkiness and the tea in the opening for an hour or two, but then as it begins to dry down and go on into the latter, 80% of the fragrance, you're going to get a spicy, incensey, floral quality that is just magical, and it lasts forever. You spray it on clothes, 2-3 days later, your clothes and your whole closet is still going to smell like this thing. It's an awesome pickup if you like Silver Mountain water. Oh, I told you I was going to give you 2 Spice Bomb clones, and I skipped one. This is a clone of the original Spice Bomb, and it's a $10 fragrance. Now, it's in a different bottle now. I hope they haven't reformulated, because I own both of the Spice Bombs I'm talking about, and this one is very, very close. This is Volatile. This is a pickup on Amazon for $10. Now it's in a glass bottle instead of a spray-painted black bottle. But this thing is so similar to Spice Bomb. You're going to get a little more of the pencil shaving kind of cedar note or oud note that you get in Spice Bomb. You're going to get more of that for the first half hour, but then that fades back, and you're going to be left with something that's probably 90 to 95% similar to Spice Bomb. It's a pretty good performer. It's probably about a 7-hour fragrance on my skin. Not quite as long as the original Spice Bomb, but it's so close, and I absolutely love that fragrance profile. All right, next we're going to go with one that is a clone of one of Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Male fragrances. This is Ultra Male. This is Afnan's clone of Ultra Male. This is 9 p.m. And this thing is so close to Ultra Male. The only difference is this has apple in the opening rather than pear. It kind of smells like pear anyway, though. And then you've got that vanilla and cinnamon. You've got that aromatic quality. This is a sweet, loud fragrance, and it's a long-lasting 8+ hour fragrance. Afnan makes some long-lasting fragrances. And this one I think I got for about $25. I think the price might have gone up a little bit. I got mine on Fragrance Buy. Many people prefer this to Ultra Male. You know, it's probably as good of a performer as Ultra Male. And for the price, I think the value is pretty unbelievable. All right, next up, we're going to go with one that is a clone from Alexandria. I have a ton of Alexandria fragrances. I don't feature them a lot because I know a lot of influencers get them sent free, and a lot of people don't put a lot of stock in what is said about them. But I bought this one, and I can vouch for it, and I don't think a lot of people know this is out there. This is a clone of one of the best discontinued fragrances that is heartbreaking that it's gone. It's a clone of CH Men Privé. This is called A Private Man by Alexandria, and it is so good. This is a boozy, spicy leather fragrance, and I can tell you that it has something that will remind you a little bit of like root beer or at least soda or cream soda in the opening, similar to Privé. It reminds me a little bit of Roja's Enigma in the opening. They don't smell exactly alike, but a similar kind of opening. And then whenever it dries down, you're going to get that beautiful boozy leather. I've got the original CH Men, and you'll definitely get that original CH Men shining through, but with added sweetness and booziness. This is an awesome pickup. I think the 60 ml is $39. The 30 ml is $29. Alexandria makes some really good fragrances. And that one's about a 7-hour performer on me, which is better than CH Men Privé or the original CH Men performs on me. So I'm happy with that. All right, let's go with one that's a clone of Dior Sauvage. I love Sauvage. I get comments sometimes, people talking about how it's gross or whatever. I don't even believe you. This is a good fragrance. I understand that a lot of people wear it, but man, this is just a really good fragrance. This is the Pride of ARMAF, and it is sort of a mix of the EDT and the EDP. It's not quite as loud and metallic as the EDT. The opening is probably a little more like the EDP, but once it dries down, it's just a great blend of the two of them. And if you don't have Sauvage side by side, you would think this is the original Sauvage. There are some differences. To me, the original Sauvage, the quality on that fragrance is just through the roof. Whatever you think about it, the quality is incredible. This one, the quality is not quite as high, but for low 20s, maybe 25 at the most, you can get this thing and it's going to get you 90% of that Sauvage DNA, and it is a great, great fragrance. And it, again, is about a 7-hour performer on me, whereas Sauvage is about a 12-hour performer on me. So it's got the ARMAF beat in that area. All right, one more straight up clone than another one that I'm going to say is very similar that no one told me was very similar. But this one's a clone, and it is a great clone of Pegasus by Parfums de Marly. I love the metallic quality of Parfums de Marly. It's another one of those three-dimensional fragrances that feels like there is some sort of a physical property in the sillage that you could reach out and grab a hold of. This is ARMAF's CRAZE, a fantastic clone of Pegasus. Pegasus is a metallic almond vanilla fragrance. You know, maybe slightly powdery. It is powdery. To me, it reminds me of being in the snow, but I actually think you can pull this off in almost all weather except for very high heat. To me, it's not that sweet. It's just this kind of mesmerizing metallic almond vanilla, and ARMAF CRAZE does it super close. I love, love, love Pegasus. I like the exclusive even better, exclusive. And I saw that there's actually a clone now of the exclusive, and I got to pick that one up. Maybe it's Maison Alhambra. I got to pick that one up. I don't have it yet. All right, this last one. This is a clone of a summer beast. It's not a clone, but it reminds me a lot of a summer beast, which is Versace Mano Fresh, which I do own. I don't love Mano Fresh, but I do like it in certain situations in the summer. This one's very close, but it's like Mano Fresh with a bamboo note mixed in. That probably gave it away. I'm talking about Mont Blanc Starwalker. I heard Ross from TLTG say that this fragrance was a lot like Mano Fresh. And sure enough, when you compare them side by side, I definitely know what he's talking about. And for $20, you can get Starwalker all over the rack stores. And I like it a little better than Mano Fresh. This is like Mano Fresh on a rainy day. Something about the sharpness and brightness of Mano Fresh I don't love. This one's softened and toned down a little by that very interesting bamboo note that just reminds me of a rainy day. It's a great spring fragrance. It's a great summer fragrance. And even though it's not a one-to-one clone, it's definitely in the same family, and they're probably 80% similar. So that has been a list of some fantastic clones, or the last one at least inspired by fragrances. I love every one of these, and I think you'd really like them too if you pick them up and you like the sound of the notes. But let me know in the comments, what are some of your favorite clones that you can get at a really good price? And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I've got a video coming out every 2 or 3 days, and I hope you'll join us. I'm Justin. This has been Sillage Scents. I'll see you on the next one.